lower 90s. For the day in the IE, there'll be patchy fog for the morning hours, cloudy skies early, clearing for the afternoon, high 89, and for the daytime in the Coachella Valley, sunny skies in abundance, high 102. I'm forecaster Jimmy O'Neill for Smart Talk 1490 KMET.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. Glad to have you with us on this beautiful morning of August 23rd, 2021. What were you doing this weekend? We want to know in social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live. If you want to follow us along, it's very simple. All you have to do is find us on social media. You can find us KMET 1490 AM, or just type in my name, Aaron Michael Sanchez, and you can just find us there. We're looking at your comments right now in social media, so keep them coming, and we'll do some shout outs in just a bit. We got Mr. Jesse Sanchez over there making sure the sound waves over there are just right. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
Lots of news stories. Obviously, people wondering what's going to happen in life. What are we going to do about it? Is anything going to happen for us? Is anything happening against us? Is there anything to be prepared for? What's your take, Jesse?
Right now I'm just getting mentally prepared for the new Marvel movies that are coming out within the next 2-3 months.
Ooh.
Like, I don't know if you heard about last night. Apparently, a low-quality video surfaced on TikTok of the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. But the trailer was not meant for the public. I'm not gonna say whether or not I saw it or not, but there's a lot of CGI that's unfinished in the trailer that I heard.
So it should be. So don't pay attention to it just yet because it's kind of ahead.
Yeah, it's an incomplete trailer. They're finishing up the CGI and stuff like that, but the trailer as a whole, it's there.
Got it.
If you find it, I'd rather wait till an actual HD quality instead of this like recording on your phone stuff.
Okay. I got you. In other words, somebody went a little too quick on the send message. Have you ever done that where you're in a situation where you kind of type a draft and then you forget that you're not done with it, and then you go back and you go, wait, did I send it? And you go into your sent files and you're like, oh shoot. Do you think that's what happened, or somebody purposely leaked it?
I want to say if someone purposely leaked it.
Got it. Uh-oh.
Yep, someone's getting in trouble, so they better watch their back. Kevin Feige will get you.
Yeah, it's actually sometimes not a bad thing because it gets people talking. So it's kind of like, whenever a new phone comes out and they kind of leak, supposedly, preliminary, they get people talking about it. So I guess we'll find out. I guess my question is, what's it going to be about? Do you know? Because I still want to watch Venom. Venom's coming out.
Yeah, Venom, regardless, I'm going to watch it. I don't know what it's about. Okay. I'm trying not to look at all the stuff, so I watched like the first 20 seconds of the trailer and I flicked it off because I didn't want to watch it because I need an HD quality. I can't watch this low quality stuff.
Got it. I got you. Okay, yeah. Okay, so good to know. I'm actually looking forward to the new movie coming out with Angelina Jolie. You went to see a pretty good movie. I recommend it, by the way. How many stars would you give it? Of course, Free Guy.
A Free Guy, yes, Free Guy. That movie was surprisingly good. I'm not gonna lie, because that was one of Fox's last movie, Fox Studios. So I really didn't put too much stock in it. So all I know is when I left the theater, I had a huge smile. It was a fun ride. It was a great movie.
Yeah, I admit it was worth every penny. And then some. So I will, if you're going to go watch a good movie, definitely recommend that. I think Jesse and I both agree. You're gonna say, you know what? I'm glad I paid $8 for candy and Coke, right? Because that's how much you're gonna spend for candy and Coke.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like, yeah, you're gonna be paying premium price, so it's worth it. Get some snacks. It's a almost 2 hour long movie, so sit in and enjoy the ride.
There it is. Sit in and have fun with it. I still gotta see Snake Eyes. I'm not gonna lie, and then that's on my to-do list. And but there you go. All right. Well, very good. Lots of questions here. Interestingly enough, at least in the world, things are going okay. Not great, especially with coronavirus. It's still here. Unfortunately, we have another week of it. Blah. Terrible. Some information though, and this is kind of interesting. I think when it comes to certain areas, kind of tightening the, how do I say, kind of making for a very, well, a lot of people are overwhelmed. In Texas, there was a town actually that was having to do a very quick lockdown because there were just too many in a city of Texas. I read that article. This one, Louisiana, are really struggling as COVID patients are flooding hospitals.
What
so
will you design
there's
today?
certain parts of the U.S. which are really finding a very bad situation getting worse. As it says here, they're in crisis mode. Hospitals across the state are struggling to keep up with the changing pandemic. There's not enough staff to deal with the influx of COVID patients in addition to the non-COVID-19 patients. Doctors said the straining the healthcare system. Cuba explained, we are seeing crazy outrageous numbers of patients. We're talking about Dr. Cuba. At the beginning of July, there was 10 COVID-19 patients receiving care at Baton Rouge General Hospital. As of Wednesday, there were more than 200 COVID-19 patients. The hospital is now at a breaking point. He says, we do not have people calling in to try to get to this hospital that we're unable to accept, adding that they have had to send patients to other facilities because they just do not have the means to care for them. That's not a good situation, Jesse. They say that's hard on us because we want to take everybody that we possibly can, do everything we can, but we do not have the right means. It's very frustrating. With so many patients needing care and critical care at that, hospitals have been forced to create makeshift ICUs. Baton Rouge General Hospital opened their 8th COVID-19 ward this week, including one unit in the hospital's burn unit. Other hospitals in the state have been transforming endoscopy suites or other medical rooms into untraditional places to care for patients. The wait time in the rooms is getting really long, and with critically ill patients forced to stand by for care that was once immediate. They said, we're getting crushed in our emergency rooms. Our hospitals are filled to the brim. If somebody's coming in today with a heart attack, there is a wait. Imagine that, Jesse. That would be terrible. I'm having a heart attack. Hold up. We'll get to you in about 8 hours. That's when I might just be dead. Right, Jesse?
Yeah, I have no comeback. All I have to say is just don't get sick, don't get injured, and yeah, just hope everything gets better. I don't know. I can't even imagine going to the hospital and saying no, we can't help you.
Yeah, especially here in the U.S. But it's starting to get kind of what we talked about. And you said, it would be terrible if it got like sorry, I'm thinking of this guy's name, Cuba. If it got like India, and they're starting to get to that point. They said they're at the bursting point. With more than 80% of Americans 65 and older vaccinated, the burden of disease has actually shifted to younger Americans. As of August 7th, Americans between the ages of 18 to 49 make up now more than 40% of the patients currently hospitalized. Yikes. We went from older to younger quite quick, and that's a lot of people to start to take care of all of a sudden. Many of the patients are younger and sicker, according to Dr. Abdul Khan, who's a pulmonary critical care physician. He recalled a 40-year-old father who, before being placed on a ventilator, told staff that he was the primary caretaker of a 10-year-old son. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. In other words, he was probably the only one of a 10-year-old son. Does that make sense? So now his 10-year-old son's like, what do I do? And sometimes these things happen like so quick, and it's so quick, they're in and gone as in a matter of days in some cases. So I will say this though. I will say, and sometimes my mom, she gets sometimes go, why do you tell me that? But sometimes it's good to have a plan in the event that somebody has an emergency. Like, okay, this is where my documents are at. This is where, in the event that I died, this is where this is at. Know this ahead of time. It's good to kind of, and I always remind my mom, you got plenty of time. I do. But with people with coronavirus, sometimes you got to have almost that very important conversation ahead of time. Just what if, right? What if you got something like this, and then something bad happens. Um, Now, in another situation, one of the patients at Baton Rouge is a 39-year-old disaster relief worker, Jessica Cooper, who is also at Baton Rouge, who's been hospitalized with the virus for over 12 days. Cooper said to ABC News she had wanted to wait for the shot until after she completed upcoming surgery. She said that the infection had depleted her with every breath of battle. At her worst, she had even written out a goodbye text to her 11-year-old daughter in case she did not make it out of the hospital. She said this, I had prayed, made my peace with God, started typing a text message to her. That way, if something happened and I didn't make it, she knew I loved her. Oh, that's hard. Ageless, it's colorless at what you can do to protect yourself. It's not even about you, it's to protect others. Richard noted that people who are coming in the hospital appear to be getting sicker more quickly. And while in the first 3 waves, the medical staff felt that it could predict to some degree who would get sick, which people would be more vulnerable, it's no longer the case. It's undeterminable. That's not a good situation for a staff to be able to, because they're surprised. That means they don't know where it's going to go. They say we're fooled every day for what we thought, and we're seeing a lot of young people with no medical problems that were significant with it. I thought we had kind of turned the corner on our way of thinking, but the Delta's truly thrown us a curveball. The shortage of nurses has left frontline workers stretching their responsibilities. Khan said the amount of nurses is never enough. We're redeploying physicians. That's how sick the patients are and how fast they're coming in. If we have 5 to 10 to 15 extra nurses, there will be a job for them. That's how many people are coming to the hospital. Teams are facing the burden of the physical and emotional toll. And I will say this, that's why you're going to start seeing a lot of people and certain areas, especially here in the U.S., start to go on a lockdown again. Because when you have hospitals in this situation, it only makes sense for areas to start to go back on lockdown. I don't know which tier system they're going to use, if they've gotten rid of it or if they're going to, but the reality is be prepared for it if it happens in your area. This is the one which, kind of got me a little sad. A Texas town, and again, Texas is one of those where they've been pretty, I will say, at least the governor and a good majority are kind of in a way like, yeah, coronavirus is not that big of a deal, right? Because they start to believe certain people that kind of had old thoughts about it. Well, we're still here, right? A year and a few months with it. We're still here. From the front lawn, Vicky Zapata went live on Facebook and burst into tears. She said in a live stream, "We ask you, God, that you heal our town, Father, from this disease." Inside the house, looking out through the glass front door, was her friend Carla Balderas, who was quarantined due to COVID-19 along with her 9-year-old son, Reynaldo. Missing was her husband, Sammy. He was in the local hospital fighting coronavirus. She panned the camera to show her surroundings. More than a dozen cars could be seen parked in front of the house, their occupants following the live stream from inside the vehicles. Zapata reflected on the moment, describing it's a cry for mercy given the great pain and suffering in our small West Texas oil field town of Iran. And it's IRAAN, by the way. So, just, not Iran, the obvious Iraq, next door over in, Middle East. A population of about 1,200 people. She said, quote, "We had COVID before, but never to this magnitude. It seemed that just about everyone in Iran knew someone who was fighting COVID. During a 2-week span, 119 people were tested for the virus and 50 tested positive." That's according to the hospital of the general hospital there, Jason Rybolt. Said that's a 42% positivity rate. Said, "I'm very concerned for the community, very concerned for trying to make sure that they have the health care that they need." It's a small town. It could be seen as a microcosm of what might take place statewide as hospitals and cases remain high. Now, Texas Governor Greg Abbott is still fighting against mask mandates, and I think that's the stupidest thing since sliced bread. Why would you be fighting against that when you have a town that high of a rate? And small towns like that, everybody knows everybody, Jesse. Like, you know what I mean? You go into town, 1,200 people, that's not a good thing. That's the type of thing you see in movies that you don't want in small towns because the hospitals are even smaller, right? You're never going to see what we have here, like Cedar Sinai, General Hospital here, right? Certain good hospitals that you know. That's a sad situation to find yourself. What do you think?
Yeah, I can't even imagine those people over there. But you know what? I know no one likes to wear masks. So, all you have to say instead of telling them to wear their mask, be like, you know what? Fine, don't wear your mask. It's okay, don't wear it. Since everyone seems to do the opposite. You gotta treat them like a kid,
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point.
right? Tell them not. If you tell them to do something, they're gonna do the exact opposite. It's just the way it is.
Yep, that's a good point. That's a great point, actually. Yeah, the school shut down, actually. So did the city building. That was last week. They shut down after only 5 days of classes because about a quarter of the staff, 60% of the students got infected. That's according to Iran Sheffield Independent School District Superintendent Tracy Cantor. She said, in the last week, we've seen more COVID cases for staff and students than we did the entire year during school. For right now, the closure is due to last until August 30th, depending on the situation. So, with more news coming like this, I'm just going to say very carefully, again, in such a way that people understand. I'm not here to, propagate people to get in a bad way, the way, some were last year, to, get up in arms about mask mandates, but kind of put perspective again. We're kind of where we were in late October, November, just before we went back into full lockdown again. In October, November, and December, we're very, remember you didn't like Halloween being kind of a no thing. So I will say, just be prepared if we do that, right? Be prepared. Movie companies need to get prepared for more fun streaming at home, and then just wear a mask even though there's no mandate. I think is what you're saying, right, Jesse? Just be safe for it.
Well, yeah, obviously, if you have like a giant crowd of people around you, you would want to wear a mask.
Yeah, maybe.
So just be safe, use common sense.
Yeah, just use common sense in the meantime. So don't get too worried if you don't have it, but if you do have signs and you get more severe, definitely try to get help with that. Jesse, you got something to share there?
No, I was gonna say, yeah, a lot of us don't have common sense, so if you don't have it, just copy the person right next to you.
What do you mean if you don't have common sense? Copy what?
A lot of people don't have common sense. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, don't do this, don't do that. No.
I got it. I'm a little. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna regroup on timing because I did not. I'm on. I get what you're. I think you said half of what you thought you were thinking, but we're gonna. You know what? In other words, people. Wait. Why would you copy somebody if you? Oh, if you don't have common sense, maybe the person next to you does.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. All right. I got it. But how do you know if you don't have common sense? Like,
I have no idea.
see,
That's a good question.
I think when you ask people like, what would you do if you walked into the hospital and they asked you to, I don't know, put on a face mask? You said, no, I'm going to go in and lick the carpet. Ugh. That would be no common sense. You're welcome.
Yeah, that would be no common sense. And that image is horrifying right now, so I'm just gonna go block it out.
And there you go, man. That's how it is in the restroom. I'm serious. It's terrible. All right, people, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned. All right, let's see here. What is going on? Late breaking, if anything. Did the Taliban like give up? Are they pulling out? Are they saying, you know what, the U.S. is so great?
Is that true?
No, not yet. But I think maybe I could hope for it. I would like them to run rather than act like they're smart, don't you? I mean, come on, yeah.
They got what they wanted. They got Afghanistan, so let's see if they can maintain it, run it.
Yep. FDA has granted full approval to Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. Let's see. Johnson & Johnson looks like they're coming up around the corner as well. Let's see some of the top headlines here. Let's see the latest and greatest. For those of you tuning in, let's say a little hello. Let's see. We've got Freddie Garcia tuning in. Hello. Stephanie Reed. Let's see. Viviana. Let's see. Rosalie says good morning. Happy Monday. Good morning. I like happy mornings like that. Stephanie Reed, hello, happy editing this glorious, hot, sunny, awesome, busy day ahead for today. Stephanie says, I know I worry about my nephew just started kindergarten in Florida. My sister just doesn't want to put a mask on him. Really worries me. Oh my God. Florida, Texas. Have you noticed something about certain states? The consistency of dumbness? I'm sorry. I want your vote. I'm just saying there's certain ones that buy into something, and I go, do you pay attention to the numbers or not at all? I think the answer is no. They don't pay attention to the numbers. They think it's false. It's sad, but there you go.
I'm like, if I have medical advice, I don't go to Facebook. I go to my doctor.
Seriously, actually, that's actually a good point.
It's like, why am I taking medical advice from people I don't even know? If I need medical advice, I'll go to my doctor.
Yeah. Yep.
Common sense.
Yep.
Because if I start using, WebMD, I'll be like, all right, I got the sniffles, I got the cough. Oh my God, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? It can get out of control. So go to your doctors. They're the ones that know more about you than you do.
I agree.
10 seconds.
I am not ready, but that's okay. I'll take it.
All right, here we go.
Internet KMET TV.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490. Appreciate you, our social media comments, one of which, a very faithful follower on social media, Stephanie Reed, says, I know I worry about my nephew who just started kindergarten and in
Return
Florida.
Your Honda lease to
And my sister just doesn't want to put a mask on him. Really worries me. And oddly enough, she says, and my sister is a nurse. That's. I would put the common sense meter at 3 on that. I think we need a common sense meter, Jesse. What do you think?
A common sense meter? That would be interesting.
Yeah, that's a common sense meter, 3 out of 1 of 10. Okay, we're gonna keep it like that. So, get your common sense up to at least 8, and I guarantee all you have to do is say, so obviously in your own hospital, stop wearing a face mask when you're treating a certain patient, and you'll be fine. Your kids will never get it. And then see what she says. If she goes, exactly, I'm Supergirl, then you'd know you're not dealing with common sense on her reality. So there you go. That's all I'm going to say about that. Just, get some perspective there. Let's see. A lot of questions. What's going on in Afghanistan? The latest, Russia will not intervene, actually. The latest. Pakistan's foreign minister has urged the Taliban and other leaders in a neighboring Afghanistan to try to reach an inclusive political settlement as soon as possible. Shah Mahmoud Qureshi issued the appeal Monday at a news conference ahead of his upcoming visit to several regional countries. Qureshi will leave for Uzbekistan on Tuesday on a trip that will also include stops in Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Iran to discuss the situation in Afghanistan. And now we're talking about the country, Iran. I-R-A-N, not I-R-A-A-N. He said he had already spoken with officials in China by phone. Qureshi said it was a good sign that the Taliban were already talking to some other Afghan leaders, including former President Hamid Karzai. Qureshi said Pakistan will continue to play their role for a peaceful and politically negotiated solution of the Afghan issue. Yet there's a lot of crises there. Gunfire at the Kabul airport kills 1. Kabul airlift is accelerating but still hampered by chaos. Afghan happy place has pretty much been non-existent. Afghan refugees in India are hoping to return home, but their hopes are kind of dimming right now. Again, you can only get so many out of there, and that's the sad part that we're starting to see. The Italian charity Pangea says all of its dozens of female activists and 200 members have reached safety inside the Kabul airport. Some have boarded planes for Italy. Pangea says they all were in the airport by dawn Monday, said in an Instagram post. The activists of Pangea are strong and resisted. They fought like lionesses to enter in that airport. That's yikes. Fought like lionesses. That's, you know what? They're strong women, I'll say that much. Pangea said in all some 30 activists and 200 family members, they were being evacuated. They identified themselves to Italian military at the Kabul airport by writing a P on the palm of their hands as a password. Video posted by Pangea shows some of the women boarding a military transport filled with men, women, and children, some strapped in the seats, but many more seated on the floor. They're just trying to get on the flight. They don't care about comfort. Germany's military commander says he believes that about 5,000 people are waiting at the Kabul airport to be flown out. This is the latest from Berlin. General Eberhard Zorn said Monday the figure has declined from about 7,000 at the weekend. He says, we are now trying internationally to reduce this number as far as possible to make room for others, and above all, cushion somewhat with the precarious accommodation and waiting situation is there. Zorn said he couldn't say what proportion of people at the airport are children or families, but he said on Germany's flights, 50% of the Afghans evacuated were women. This is sad. It's almost reminded me of like the Titanic situation where you're like, okay, can me and my kids please get to safety, right, Jesse?
Yeah, I can't even imagine these people right now just trying to rush that airport, trying to get out. I saw a report of a member of the Afghan soccer team for the Olympics, I think, and he tried to get out on the plane and was unsuccessful and ended up dying.
Wow.
So it's just I can't imagine living in a country where it's so bad that you have to flee like that. So I'm just like, I just hope there's peace someday over there. It's really sad. I can't imagine all this turmoil over there.
Yeah, I agree. Russia says they will not interfere in the standoff between Taliban and their opponents in Afghanistan. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said on Monday that leaders of the Collective Security Treaty Organization member states discussed the standoff and its implication of another civil war in Afghanistan. He said, of course, no one's going to intervene in these events. Taliban spokesman said Monday the group's forces have surrounded Panjshir, the only one of Afghanistan's 34 provinces that have not yet fallen to the Taliban. Several Taliban opponents have gathered in Panjshir. They include Amrullah Saleh, the VP in the Topol government who claims to be the acting president, and Ahmad Massoud, son of the slain commander of the Northern Alliance militias that partnered with the U.S. to drive the Taliban from power in 2001. Yeah, these are the type of headlines I hate going over. It's as though everything that happened from 2001 was just never going to help humans. I mean, we're really that weak to not be able to take out kind of the head of the Taliban. I mean, we know who they are now. I mean, just kind of easy. It's called assassination. We do it all the time. So there you go. All right, we're going to take a quick little break here on the morning show. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned. That's all he has to do. Get the black ops in, take them out, boom, done. Right?
If it was only that easy.
It is, man.
It is easy, but there's too much red tape.
Not with that. Black ops, huh? There's no red tape, man. That's called, let's just take out the heads, get rid of them, and there you go.
If it was so easy, we would have gotten all our people out already.
Well, no, I didn't say that was easy. That's not easy getting out.
That's a logistical mayhem.
Oh yeah, you got huge planes trying to get out a bunch of people all at once from all country, or like that's why they're having problems. So while everybody's like scrambling to there, good, get all the people out of there, get people, and then boom, distract them. But yeah. Let's see. Tom Holland reacted to the Spider-Man trailer leak. He said he ain't ready.
Yep. I really do not recommend watching that trailer. It's like someone recorded it with their phone.
Yeah.
Like a phone from like 2005.
It was like the Sonic Hedgehog. Well, you know what? Don't they have the good news is? I mean, I always kind of go with the, how do I say it? Like you know, how you do behind the scenes, like preliminary, like storyboarding. View it like that, right?
Probably.
Does that make sense? I don't know. I don't know how bad it is actually.
I don't know. Like the last time I remember seeing unfinished CGI was in, what was it?
I remember with the Hulk that really kind of did it in. It was the which one are we talking? When he was really green.
The one with the Eric Bana where he's facing the dogs.
Yeah. That did end that movie. I can guarantee it because we were like, I think the shade of green they ended up having to change or something like that. He was too fuchsia green or something. I don't remember, but he's like, it's preliminary. Why did you guys get that out there? Yeah.
20 seconds.
Too cartoony, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. What is going on in the world other than that?
10 seconds. Here we go.
Today.
Welcome back. It is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you spending time with us. As always, in social media, thank you for keeping your comments coming and spreading the news far and wide. Have common sense. I think that is the story of the day. That's all we have to know, and there you go. Okay, that's if you could have one theme for the rest of the week. Use your common sense when going out. Okay, it doesn't take a lot to put on an N95. Very simple. It's like $1 now. You can find them. I live in a city called Monterey Park. They have them on every, when I just walk down the street, actually, at any Asian place, they've got plenty of them. So I got a box, one for, $1, a box of 20 for $20. And there you go. Just, use that. Use a UV light. Boom. You're good to go. I'm not going to be all like, that's the whole protection of getting sick. But, haven't gotten sick yet for the, all this time. I mean, my sister's gotten sick twice, so that's no fun. And I know other people in our other family, extended family, that are currently sick with it. So we're praying for them. So if you know somebody, again, don't leave them out of your prayers, and then, keep checking up on them. That's always very important. Keep checking up on them, say, hey, just worried about you. Just want to make sure you're good to go. And then if they get worse, find out where they're at, and then stay in touch with the family so that, that you don't lose touch with them, because then all of a sudden here they're gone. I recently heard my ex-wife's, more like my brother-in-law, my ex-brother-in-law just died about a week and a half ago. And I'm like, oh no, when did this happen? But I found it on Facebook. And they lived in Arizona, and I have yet to hear what he died from. But then I found out my ex-wife's or my ex-father-in-law had died as well, and I'm like, when did all these things happen? What's wrong with me? Like, how did I miss this? So sometimes you get kind of stuck in your own stuff that you're doing, but then you find out, and like And I will say, big shout out to the Camargo family, who actually, Dan Camargo, they watch the show from time to time, and it's no fun having to say goodbye or know that you never got to say goodbye. I was supposed to go to Arizona a couple months ago for a funeral, and I thought, I'm going to go stop in Sedona, Arizona, and visit them, because they actually, watched the show, and they said, hey, we miss you. And I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to see you guys. And now I'm thinking, God, do I want to go down there for the funeral? Do I not? Do I, it could be quick, fast, and then all of a sudden someone's gone, literally. And sometimes you have to just be very, very aware that, people are dying right now. And sometimes it's so quick, it's so fast. They're here today, gone tomorrow. I know some of you have experienced that in your own lives. And I will say it is sad when it happens. I've already lost a few people due to coronavirus. So please, please, please. I know we joke about it. I know we have kind of, fun about common sense and such, but if you're going to get upset about anything, get upset that people think it isn't real when you have friends and or family that have died because of coronavirus. And whether they haven't died because of coronavirus, maybe they've died from a heart attack. Maybe they've died from something else because maybe they didn't get the best care because there are not enough nurses or doctors taking care of everybody because they're all overworked and stressed. Earlier, a comment came in from Viviana talking about certain hospitals and says some nurses are quitting because hospitals will not let them work less hours. A lot of nurses have died. I've been seeing those posts as well. We may not know the nurses, but the nurses, if you take an average of how many people they save a day, and for 3 to 6 people a day that you have no idea. I mean, how many nurses have you come across that when you're in the hospital, you forget their names later, but boy, are you happy they're there doing their job. Not sure if you've ever been in that position, Jesse, but we got to remember, kind of like way back when, remember the frontline people, right? Remember the frontline people. Remember the people that are putting themselves and their families at risk. We know that having a hospital is kind of one of those situations where you feel as though, it's a good situation to be in, that we actually have good health care in this country. But when you get news articles like Louisiana, Baton Rouge, which is a pretty big city, which are kind of at their tipping point, I'm going to tell you right now, that is not a good case to find yourself in. It just isn't. Especially in a state where, again, they're trying to keep more safe than sorry. And then you've got other ones in Florida and Texas, pretty big, where they're scoffing at the idea of just face masks. Now, I get the mandate or not mandate. I get that. I get, do we make it a mandate? Do we not? I always say, are we really fighting about that still? Like, it's such a tiny thing on your face. It's so not, I mean, just wear it, don't wear it. I get it. I take it off the moment I hit the sun on the outside. But when I go on inside, you can almost guarantee for a fact if I wear it around my wrist, actually. So I don't forget it with the little loops. Somebody showed me that. I says, it looks kind of silly, but I won't forget it. Don't know if you've ever forgotten one. Then you kind of cover your face and, but anyway, imagine going into a restroom and then you have to go in the restroom, but all that's in there is coronavirus. That's terrible. Imagine if you had like special eyes and you could actually like see all the germs in the restroom before you go in. I think that would be the right thing to do, right, Jesse? Did you visualize that, or what? What's that face?
I visualized it just having like a UV black light. I don't want to go into a bathroom and just look like a Jackson Pollock painting or something like that. I no, that's
germs. Oh, that's nasty, but that's what you have to think.
Yep.
That's what you have to think, man. I know I take the public transit and I'm like, which seat do I sit in? Which one is like hopefully less germs on it? I never used to think like that. I used to be the guy that I'm like, whatever, if I get sick, I'll fight it. But now, I'm careful when I go out. So there you go. So be careful. There you go. Be on the lookout for craziness when it comes to that. So just don't be a part of it. Just, put it on. Be okay about it. Somebody demands it. Just say, you know what, you're right. But hopefully we don't get all demanding again because that gets weird. All right, we're going to take a quick little break here on the morning show. Let us know your thoughts on social media. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope TV. You don't find us, we're not there. Tell us. We'll try to get on there. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
There's a TV show I need to send you a clip of. I think you'll like it.
What's it about?
Uh, it's about a low-income family, but they one of them gets like sick, and because they have a newborn inside the house, so they want to protect the newborn from like germs and stuff.
Yeah.
So one of them gets a black light, and they bring it into their house, and they start shining it around, and she starts freaking out. So eventually they sterilize the house, and then the moment like the grandma comes in, she just makes a huge mess. What's the show? Raising something. Raising Hope.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen that show?
No, but I think I've heard about it.
Oh, I found it. Let's see. Every time I think of germs, I think of this. I sent it inside. Okay. I posted it in the comment section. So anyone who wants to watch it. Ooh. I kind of want a black light now. And then I don't want a black light.
Well, you got to know which one you're looking for, right? Because otherwise you get just, it's a good way to be like, you know what? I'm just not going to use that restroom.
Oh.
They need a quick one just in every restroom so that they could be like, oh, God, need a scrub, right?
Then I'll be forced to clean the bathroom.
That's true. But at least it would make you want to clean the restroom, right?
That is true.
Versus some that just don't clean it at all. I cleaned it. They just replace the toilet paper and that's it. Then
that doesn't count?
Exactly. Yeah, I knew it. That's how people think.
We got 10 seconds.
All right, thank you.
Here we go.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you for spending time with us here on the morning show. Here's some of the latest. Face masks will be needed in America's national parks. Well, there you go. I don't know what that means because it's outside, but whatever. Okay. That's one of those where I go, oh, it's a park. Why would I need it? But maybe you don't want to give it to the animals. I can understand that. So, little squirrels and owls are like, thank you, finally. It's using some common sense for us. But Canada has announced a vaccine mandate for air travel. Yep. They're requiring most commercial passengers traveling by air, rail, or large ship to be fully vaccinated by the end of October. The vaccination requirement includes all commercial air travelers, passengers on interprovincial trains, and passengers on large marine vessels with overnight accommodations such as cruise ships. So that's pretty much mandated. You get to have one before you travel. And Canada, I get it. Let's see. Turks and Caicos will require all visitors to be fully vaccinated. If you're a visitor, you don't. Too bad. So sad. But I still wonder if they're gonna just. There's my card. Paid $20. There you go. From September 1st, all travelers. Well, you know what's gonna happen, Jesse, right? Like, how do you know?
You don't know until they start barcoding our vaccination records on us. Okay, I'm going too far here. But yeah, everything is like, I keep seeing everything is going to be requiring like vaccination passports or vaccination cards or something along that line. So be prepared for it.
Yeah, I agree. Immunizations. Remember that with like you have like I remember being young and I look at like certain people and their like arm I don't know if it was the left or the right. I can't remember, but there's like little dots on certain people. You're like, what is that? And it's an indent of. So you're looking if you have one, right? You're like, did I ever get that at a young age?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember what immunization was that for.
Yeah, but you really knew. I was like, man, what could leave that type of scar?
Right?
How
I think it
big
might
was
have been
that?
polio or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I mean, to leave that type of, But yeah, I remember looking at people going, "What is that?" And then they told me, I'm like, "Oh, okay." But there you go. So, yep, it's not that, but there you go. They do not want to spoil the Caribbean. Major U.S. cities are introducing vaccine mandates. San Francisco, the first U.S. city to mandate for certain indoor activities. City residents aged 12 and older are now required to show their vaccine credentials to enter indoor restaurants, bars, gyms, and theaters, as well as large event spaces with at least 1,000 people. So, yeah, there's that. A man was sentenced to 6 weeks in prison for flouting mask laws. Yikes. That's a Singapore court. Whoa. Sentence a 40-year-old British man to 6 weeks in prison after he repeatedly breached local COVID protocol by refusing to wear a face mask in public. That's Singapore. I'm telling you, they do not joke. Having earlier been put through a psychiatric assessment because of his behavior and remarks in court, that makes sense. Benjamin Glynn was found guilty on 4 charges over his repeated failure to wear a mask. Probably from Texas, just saying. When you're in Singapore, do as the Singaporeans do. The U.S. has extended border restrictions and added more countries to do not travel lists. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security announced Friday it's extending non-essential travel restrictions at their borders with Canada and Mexico with at least until at least September 21st. The U.S. has been limiting non-essential travel along borders since the start of the pandemic, with exceptions being made for cross-border trade, U.S. citizens, and lawful permanent residents, as well as people traveling for reasons such as medical purposes or to attend school. Other 4 new destinations have been added. Dominica, Jersey, Montenegro, and Turkey have been added to the highest risk level 4 category on the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's travel advisories list. Chile, Mozambique, and Uruguay have moved all down to level 3, yay, which urges unvaccinated travelers to avoid non-essential travel to those locations. Uruguay has closed their borders to all but citizens and residents since the start of the pandemic, but it announced it would open on November 1st to all travelers showing proof of vaccination. So, yep, people are like, don't come here. I don't think so, especially you people from Texas. Which I love Texas, by the way. I've traveled to Texas. I love Texas. I have Texas friends, but some, in their heads, just believe the wrong news. A lockdown tourism board is promoting vaccination. Back in Kinman's home country, Nicole Kinman, Australia's borders are closed and Sydney's lockdown has been extended to September. Its neighbor and former travel bubble partner, New Zealand, have extended their lockdown. They're basically saying, look, don't travel here, okay? And that's weird when certain countries are like, yeah, we're not traveling right now. We don't really want you guys here. Because they want to stay safe, right? Tourism in Australia's new campaign is taking a different tactical marketing spot. It says it's our best shot for travel, launched domestically this week, and is a drive to get more people vaccinated. Although Australia has been relatively successful in keeping out the virus, the country's vaccination program got off to a slow start. 23% of the population has been fully vaccinated as of August 20th. Hong Kong has some strict quarantine rules, but a special exemption for Hollywood star Nicole Kidman. She arrived in the city from Sydney by private jet, reportedly to film a series for Amazon. She and 4 crew members were granted a special exemption to perform designated professional work, avoiding quarantine, which would ordinarily mean spending 14 to 21 days in a hotel at your own expense. So that's the story there. And American Airlines, just so you know, people, they don't want you to have any more alcohol. I think there's too many things happening in the airlines, Jesse, that I think, honestly, they're a little sick of it. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I would say this. They're allowed to drink as long as the flight attendants can duct tape the crazy people. Am I right?
You're right, but pretty soon the staplers are going to come out. Staple him to the chair. He got out of his duct tape.
Or pretty soon they'll be bringing like super glue, or who knows.
Oh, God.
Or you know what? If they have a chair specifically designed to restrain crazy people.
Oh, that would be weird, though. I don't know that I'd want to sit on that chair knowing that it could.
This way, you'd be like, do you want to sit in the chair?
It's for your safety. If your chair suddenly locks you down. Oh man. So there you go. All right. That's the deal. We're sticking to it. American Airlines say just will not serve alcoholic beverages in the main cabin of the flights until January next year, having previously planned to get the drinks flowing come September. The postponement is in line with the mask mandate on public transportation, which is also being extended until January. The airline says the move is part of a two-pronged approach to improving safety on board, both in terms of COVID-19 spread and curbing unruly passenger behavior. On Thursday, the U.S. Federal Aviation Authority have proposed more than $500,000 in new fines against rule-breaking travelers. So, Jesse, yikes. I think they're right about that. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to say they're right about that. Most definitely.
Yeah. So, that's good. I would be like, if you have 500,000, especially that one that was like, you don't know who I am. My father is rich. Good. We need $500,000. Get us richer, right? If you're unruly, so.
If you're going to be like flaunting that, then every time you say that, you're going to be fined $100,000.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, you know who my dad is? $100,000.
$60,000 for every cuss word thereafter. You flippin', floppin', flippin', floopity floo. So there you go. What? It's a way to do it around it. I'm just saying, you gotta, be smart about it. So there you go. Just be careful when you travel. That's the main message there. And if countries like Australia and New Zealand are not wanting you to come visit, which those are the ones that really want you to come visit, right? And they're like, yeah, no, just please, no, not right now. Then just don't. Okay, just be safe about it. And it looks like they're kind of looking at America, going, man, you guys are dumb. Which I get it. People don't understand how some countries view Americans. They look at them and I get it now. I remember hearing about it, but I never understood it till recently. So there you go. Just so you know. I mean, I get it. Sometimes I laugh at us all the time on the morning show. Did I just say that out loud? All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the show. It's good to have you guys after the weekend. If you're safe, then continue to be safe. If you're watching, continue to watch it. And if you're listening, or if you haven't downloaded it, but you're listening on the radio, download our app. KMET 1490 AM. That's where it's at. I'm Aaron. That's Jesse over there. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye. And for the rest of you, we appreciate you. Let's see, social media chat room Rosalie. Let's see, and Judy Amuno says, watching from Walla Walla, Washington. I love it when you say that, because I just want to say Walla Walla all day, right? That's a fun word. Where are you tuning from? I'm tuning in from Walla Walla, Washington. So there you go. Rosalie says, let's see, my cousin posted this a little long, but it's true. Let's see, hi, table for two, please. Sure, and your name, Bill. Great. Do you and your guests have their vaccination cards? Well, first, can you tell us who our server will be? Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Looks like Sue will be your server tonight. Great. Can you show Sue's vaccination card? And also, can you provide me with proof that Sue's not a carrier of HIV, hepatitis A or B, or any other communicable diseases? Same for you and the kitchen staff. Actually, you know what? That's a good flip of the script. I would say, except I would say this. That's probably not a place you'd want to go to again if you're going to create that problem, because I guarantee some people do spit on food. But I think it's funny you say that, because I've always said enforcing it at certain places is just not going to happen. Do outside seating, do the best job that you can, and it's not going to work. Let's see. It goes on to read. We would prefer not to be served by someone who is on or use recreational drugs such as marijuana, cocaine, meth, fentanyl. So if you could provide us with Sue's most recent talk screen, that would be great. As a matter of fact, I'm going to need to see all of your employees' medical history. Let me get the manager for you. That would be great. Thanks. Make sure they have the Vax card, medical records, please. Here's the thing. Nobody needs restaurants, gyms, and other places. They need us. Yeah, I say it's not worth it, having to go to that level, so don't get in that mindset. But it's hilarious. I could see that happening, because I know how I could get. Especially if you forget, like, where is your vaccination card? And knowing that they could be easily duplicated and or copied, are we pushing people to that? I don't really think so. And more importantly, just because you have a vaccination doesn't mean you cannot get it at all anyway. Everybody can be vaccinated technically, and you can still get the Delta or the Delta Plus. That's what people are understanding, and they're going, wait, what? Does it limit it or make it less? It depends on the variant. But nobody's talking about that, and you guys need to start talking about that in social media. If you're going to, show anything or share anything with anyone, then please share that. Very important, very important, very important. All right. This is important. This is a story I'm just looking at. A family is speaking about a boy who was 12, hospitalized with COVID-19. Alabama's family life turned upside down when their 12-year-old son, who's a healthy, strong athlete, landed in the hospital struggling to breathe. Brody Barnett, who's a 7th grader from Chilton County, and his family are speaking out to warn the public of the dangers of the Delta variant, exactly the one I'm talking about. His mother, Geraldine Vowell, said to ABC News that her son tested positive on August 6th and suffered extreme symptoms, including coughing and trouble breathing, within a day. Now, I will say this. If you're a parent and you don't realize the extremity of how bad this situation can get, and your kids are young, and you hold off and hold off and hold off, but you know they should probably go in, don't hesitate. Okay, not when it's your young ones. I'm going to show you a picture of this. All right. He told his friends, this is the worst that I've ever been sick. I feel sorry for this 12-year-old. He said being in the hospital was a scary experience. It ain't nothing to joke with. That's what he said to ABC Birmingham affiliate WBMA. He was first exposed at the beginning of last week after going to a friend's home where someone later tested positive for the virus. After hearing news of that positive result, his family bought at-home COVID kits. Val said, I tested Brody and his test popped up positive immediately. Then we went to an actual testing site and it was the same result. Val explained that she had tested negative for the test but positive for antibodies. She said, quote, my husband nor I have been vaccinated but because we were positive for antibodies previously. We had just gotten the original COVID a few months back. And what she's saying isn't wrong because she said it right. They had the other COVID, right? So, again, variants are everything, and you have to be careful of that. So she said, we just kind of were waiting to be vaccinated. She said they'll get the vaccine when they test negative for antibodies. Health experts recommend people get vaccinated even if they have been exposed to the virus because vaccines are known to provide more durable protection, including against the Delta variant. That's what some are saying, but some are not very realistic about the situation. A study released by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found people who were unvaccinated were more than twice as likely to be reinfected compared to people who were vaccinated. The night Brody tested positive, he got a runny nose and started coughing. This is the point I'm talking about. It seems like a cold, but it's not. The next day, it progressed to the point that he couldn't breathe and felt pain in his rib cage. He was like, I cannot breathe. I cannot take a breath. He says he couldn't raise his arms over his head and take a breath. That's not a good sign. If you cannot take a breath, you rush your kid. Because with this Delta variant, they're seeing anywhere from 3 to 4 days from that type of situation happening, just so you know. So if you see this, and I know because I, actually had a conversation with a family friend, have a conversation with somebody else, and they were just so not with it on it. And I was like, are you kidding me? So although he's recovering, and that's good, You got to watch this very closely. Says our nights are pretty tough. I feel like he's feeling a little better now. We're on day 7 as far as walking outside. He gets winded very easily. His breathing isn't where it should be, and he still has lots of big coughing spells. His struggle with the virus has left the family shaken. And this is the part I'm not happy about. You cannot send kids home like this and not monitor them closely when they get to this point. You just can't. But it's happening. His mother said it scared him a lot. Our COVID units in our area had shut down pretty much, and we didn't hear about it this summer. We didn't worry about the virus as much as now. But now I think it's definitely scared him to the point that he feels he's definitely more leery of it. Brody and his family are speaking up to warn people that kids too can suffer greatly from the virus. Said, quote, kids do get sick and the virus is real. We're not out to condemn or condone any political side of it. I just want to make sure other mamas and parents are aware that it is real for kids and kids do get sick and it's a really scary thing to do. COVID-19 infections among children have become a growing concern in the U.S. Here's what I will say. If you go to a hospital and they turn you away, go to another one, go to another one, and go to another one. I guarantee you'll find one. If you go further in areas where they're maybe less populated, you could find one. You just have to go further out. So you go further, maybe east, at least in the LA area, or just go a little further, 2-3 hours if you have to. But get them admitted so that they could get taken care of. Let's see. Rosalie says, let's see, my 18-year-old doesn't want the vaccine. My 15 and 13-year-old do. I just have to find a place that will have the right one for them. My 13-year-old son sent out a notification that he could have possibly been exposed, but still send them to school until they show signs. If it's better just to not, and then if so, wear a face mask. Seriously, Rosalie, it's a better situation to be in, but look at their symptoms and get them tested right away. That's probably the best thing. If you've possibly been exposed, go get tested the moment you start showing some signs. Get some stuff out of your head. That way you're like, okay, I'm okay, but still wear a face mask. It's kind of like, kissing somebody and then wondering if you got mono, right? Or worse yet, right? You're like, oh no. So just be aware of it, be ahead of it, and then be aware we have to be careful when we go out. All right? That's all I'm saying. There you go. Stay safe, everyone. Noah will be back tomorrow here on The Morning Show with more.